Thursday.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Supervisor Coyer.
Yo.
Councilman Barber is absent. Councilman Carter.
Here.
Councilman Pulaski.
Here.
Councilman Barron.
Yep.
Okay. The first papers that you're going to see are what the different departments requested. The Justice Court envelopes, which we'll add to our general fund supplies. And then Phil wants to go to training. He goes in person. All our judges in the past have done it online, but Phil likes to go in person. So,
And he's switching every year. Village paid for this year, town will pay for next year, village will pay for the next year, town will pay for the next year.
Oh, that's okay.
yeah.
So he's alternating it.
So
Yeah.
that's what's in there, and I've added that to the training line.
Okay.
Custodian grounds. I put on there protective gear for to mow lawns. Gloves. Eye protection, hearing protection, just the various things in here.
Okay.
I mean, the other stuff is supplies anyway. Code enforcement, I have an issue with this one, so bear with me. He's asked for a laptop and docking station, which we can probably do. His computer is old and the programs on it kind of suck. $1,000 for safety, we do that anyway. His office supplies, we added into our office supply line. The software for the code books, that's fine. His wages, none of us get cost of living raise. That he can get that from his permanent job.
What is his permanent job?
Works for the state.
OGS.
OES?
OGS, Office
OGS?
of General Service.
Office of General.
Right out of Clinton?
Yeah.
Yep.
No, he's out.
They have an office at Clinton up where the old farm was. They took over a building up there, but he's in Malone and Altona usually.
Okay.
He's in Altona, because Altona's doing
Was
work.
down at the college there for a while.
Okay.
College sometimes, but Altona's like getting fixed constantly.
Yeah.
They don't have contractors in there.
We need to get a new code enforcement person, looks like.
Well, wages, so I'm suggesting we keep his wages at 12.
Okay.
He's
So
got,
he's at 12, he gets 44 because of the.
and he's gonna
200.
get that regardless. That's really not part of his wages. That's what he gets. And
Oh,
he'll,
he's okay, I see.
He's asking-
$1,000, he wants, in this budget, he wants to go up 1,000.
and he wants it as part of his payroll, which is not, no, he's gonna get, because next year there'll probably only be, say there's only 10 short-term rentals. Because, a lot of them did it this year.
Right.
I doubt we're gonna have 22 do it next year.
He'll have 20.
Is that a yearly thing or every 2 years?
It's every 2 years.
So next year probably won't hardly get any.
Right. Next year, we'll get the ones that did it this year rat out.
He's up to 2,200
Basically.
right now. I just looked it up today. He's up to 2,200. That's his
Yeah, he's-
inspections for
Yeah,
the
he
year.
will.
So he's pretty much done for the year then?
He should be.
I would think so. So, I mean, I would think, my suggestion is we keep him at 12, and then he gets that stipend anyway. He's
That's
gonna
good.
get
I agree.
his pay for,
Does he want to
pay for
increase
play.
it from 100 for inspection to 200 inspection?
He gets 100 he gets the full inspection.
Right,
And
which
he
is
gets
100.
100 of the 300 permit.
No,
Oh,
it is
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So he gets $200 for every short-term
I knew
rental
he
there
got
is.
100 for the inspection, because I have that in there, but
Yeah,
okay.
but,
Okay.
and he also gets 100 for each permit.
And are we going with raises anywhere else?
Well,
Well, we gave
that's a
him-
question as we go along.
yeah, we gave him a raise last year, and nobody else.
Yeah, he got a raise last year, no one else did.
Yep, that's true. Very true.
Clerk, tax collector,
What does she want now?
yeah, so, so the envelopes go in our budget line, in postage. A $500 increase in pay, and I agree with this. Back in 2018 and 19, when everybody got, wasn't that long ago, when everybody got $500
Just 2
added,
years ago. I didn't get it.
the clerk never got it.
How'd you miss that in a minute?
Because it was already in, it.
Leslie
Oh.
never
Okay, I got it.
added it to her payroll and she told her about it like the end of last
So I
year
didn't get it.
when she left. Oh, by the way, that $500
So you can
raise?
times that by 2 now.
You never
No,
got
something
it.
like that.
So,
Okay.
So she would like the $500.
You guys held out a couple years ago.
Denis, all Mary wants is for him to have a high-vis reflective vest and a rain jacket, which, fine, we can put that in supplies, office
Gave him
supplies
a
as
fire
well.
department one last night.
Hmm?
I just gave him a fire department one last night.
Yeah, oh, a rain jacket, or,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, she got him talked into joining the fire department.
Boy, I had a hard time not responding to Mark Denicore. I was over at the dam with Denise. The amount of freaking milfoil all along that dam.
isn't it unbelievable?
And at the meeting, he was having us all, what the hell were they gonna do with the board? They were gonna have us all
Yeah.
freaking removed from office. And
Yeah,
his divers did the best. You go look at that, the rock along that dam. I wanted to just text back or email back and say, if they went along the dam for one day, you could add 50 more gallons of milfoil to your total.
Should've.
That's what they
yeah,
could pick
down
up.
at the bottom of the spillway.
Oh. So is that gonna spread down the brook?
It already has. Denise says he looked down and there's milfoil growing in the river.
Yeah, so it's gonna go down, cause it goes over the spillway too, it's gonna go down the brook. Will it eventually get to Lake Champlain,
Yes, it will.
Yeah, well, and
you know?
I liked
I'd like to
what,
call DEC and tell them.
I liked what DEC, what he said, when he was here about, yes, the drawdown does kill
But it,
all the vegetation
Yeah.
that's there. But the next year when it grows back, because the milfoil is so much stronger than your native vegetation, it's the only thing that's gonna grow back.
Right.
So we basically are eliminating our native plants and replacing it with milfoil every time we do a drawdown.
Look in your garden, all the weeds grow better than the plant.
Absolutely.
Look at the back of my meadow,
And you know what?
behind the house.
And you ever notice that the weeds that grow near certain plants look like those plants?
Yeah.
Like the weeds that grow near corn look like corn, the weeds that grow near tomatoes look like tomatoes. It's like, they're tricky little things.
Yeah.
Okay. Supervisor, secretary, Brooke needs a new printer. That one keeps crapping out on her. And the computer for mine, like I've told you, that one's been slowly dying. And that's not, I mean, that doesn't amount to much. Between those two things,
No,
it'd
it
probably
doesn't,
be
yeah.
about
They're cheap
$3,000 at the most.
Yeah, they're cheap
All right, so that's what everybody asked for. I had something from Highway, then Mark asked for it back because he wanted to change it. It's in there sitting on his desk. I did not take it because he did not bring it to me. And what he's asking for, I agree with part of it, and I disagree with the rest of it, so we'll see when he decides to come forth. So this year I filled in everything. You know, in the past we've said, okay, put this here, put this here. I was working on it, I filled it all in. There's no reason why you have to sit here and put in numbers that I've already put in. So this is a fund. If you look at the bottom line on the second page, it's at 73 cents per thousand. As we've discussed, we probably need to slowly edge that up a little bit because it's a pretty low amount. Real property taxes, we have plenty in our appropriated funds. Putting that 44 at the top, but I mean, we can increase it if you want, but I'll go through it real quick.
Okay.
So for income, taking 44,610 out of our savings, getting 200,000 from the taxpayers, $500 in interest and penalties. Franchises, we get about 2,000 from them. Clerk fees, about 500. Beach shelter reservations, about 600. Stewards, I put that in there. I haven't gotten the paperwork for the grant, but we typically get that. Interest and earnings, I put 88,000. That's how much interest we earned in our market, our money market this year.
And that's still a fictitious number because it's gonna go up to by another 3 months, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as I had said before, the money we got, that $3 million we got for the short-term ban for wastewater treatment plant, we're keeping the $2 million of that is still in our money market, gaining interest, and we move it over as we need to pay the contractors. So that's 88,000. Rental of real property is gonna go up because that's for the 2 towers and the Brookfield area.
Yep.
And that goes up 3% each year, so I just put it up 3%. Game
No,
of
so let me
chance,
ask you, how do you know that goes up 3% this year?
because their contract,
Contract is showing 3%
yeah,
each year.
the contract is,
Okay.
and games of chance, $10. Dog licenses, about 3,000. Fines and forfeiture of bail dropped 1,000 to 1,000, and we'll be lucky if we hit that. Our judge tends to dismiss pretty much 80% of the things that come before him if they don't have the right date or the right time or whatever else.
So that doesn't go to our benefit though, does it?
It does not. And some of the stuff.
That makes it a lot easier for him, that's a lot less.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, he's dismissing misdemeanors, he's dismissing DUI. I mean, it's,
Wrongful
but we
date,
have no
jurisdiction.
control over what he does, so.
15 tickets last night, he dismissed 7 of them.
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow.
So we may want to be looking for another judge too in a couple of years.
I think you're right. Boy, the frickin' attorneys must love coming here.
No.
They actually hate coming, well,
Oh, really?
yeah, because it's dismissed, they're just wasting
I
the time.
hate him.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
throwing all their tickets out.
Sheriffs.
Guess you want to break
Oh,
the law,
yeah.
you went down to Dannemora.
DEC, sheriffs, the troopers, they're not liking it. Or saying sales, I put 75,000, that's about what we get from Ellenberg on an annual basis. Plus we have a couple others that we do. Miscellaneous revenues, 500 state revenue sharing, 12,000, that's a very modest estimate that will probably be higher. Mortgage tax, 12,000, that will probably be higher.
Okay.
So the total 572,760. And of course I got to go over all my figures again because my math, I'll have to recheck it all. But so I didn't put any increases for wages for anyone else other than Becky. And so I don't know, I put numbers in here, but it's up, certainly everyone's prerogative to discuss what we're going to do. And then also on the next page, you'll see a question mark out and that's for the highway superintendent, which we had discussed in the past about looking at that particular wage. So I'll skip over,
Where's that one at? The highway?
Second page.
yeah, second,
1/5 of the way down, Mike.
it says 39,000, I got a question mark out in the
5010.10.
in the border.
Oh, the question mark, yep.
Yep.
okay.
So back to the other, let's see, I do supervisor, secretary, personal, I would like to put 32,000 and put her on salary. It's just a lot easier. If we were to pay her $20 an hour and she came here at every opportunity she could, we're talking like 42,000. If you take $20 times 39 a week, blah, blah, blah.
And
So,
she is grasping it. She's doing really good.
so I don't see a problem with, I personally don't see a problem with putting her on salary.
How will she feel about being put on salary?
She wants it.
I think she'd like
She'd
it.
like it.
Yeah, I think she'd
It's
like,
easier
So
for
just
her.
32,000 and every 2 weeks, that amount of money. Boom.
Yeah.
Don't
yeah,
have to go-
and just split it out. I mean,
Don't have to calculate it or.
No.
yeah, Leslie had been on salary for the last few years she was here. It's just easier, don't have to count your overtime, but if you need to take an hour or two to go someplace, you don't have to take it out of your hours.
Yeah.
It's,
She tries to make it up. She comes in during the weekends just to make up a couple hours because, schools and stuff, kids.
so, she's doing well. I'm very pleased with how she's doing, and she has no problem getting on the phone. Like, we were looking at bills and stuff today, and I'm like, why are we paying this bill? And so she got on the phone, and she's like, hi, why are we paying this bill? And she's
And she tells them, I'm new at this, walk me through it, and she goes through everything. She's really good.
so, but that would be a board decision whether you want to put her on salary or not. And let's see, the auditor, 3,000 is about what we pay him. Tax collector, town clerk, I had added the 500 there. If you don't want to give it to her, you take that out.
Yeah.
Slice your tires.
We'll leave it we'll leave it.
Budget personal, that's budget. Assessor, this is the new contract amount, 33,734. This is the last year of the contract with the county for assessment. So I don't know if you want to continue to use them or if you want to try to hire somebody individually. We get good service from them. It's pricey. It's $20, $21.25 per parcel is what the county charges for assessing, and that's to the 4 or 5 counties.
So that's optional?
To do it from the county? Yeah, we can hire one. We can hire our own assessor. We'd have to pay them, and we'd have to pay for their
Training.
certifications.
I thought they did away with all that. I thought the county controlled the whole county
No.
now.
No, because in
I thought they did
fact,
too, don't feel
in
bad.
fact, Trevor was hired by Blackbrook to be their assessor. Privately, not as.
On the side.
Yep, not under the county. So, I mean, we can hire an assessor individually if we want.
Okay.
What did Blackbrook pay? What did Blackbrook pay?
I don't know, I can ask John Douglas. But we're in this this is, 2026 is the last year for this contract, because it's a 3-year contract.
It must cost us more than $500, no?
No, 33,734.
33,734 is what,
That's what we pay.
that's our
That's
contract.
what we pay county.
The one underneath it,
Okay.
the $500 contractual, that's to pay for all the things that go in the paper every time.
Supplies and
Yeah.
paper stuff.
Well, every time he puts a legal in the paper that says, all these rolls, we pay for those.
Do we get our money's worth from the county for $33,734?
No,
I mean, my assessment goes up $9,000 every year.
no, I don't know. I don't know what a private person would pay. I mean, we'd have to research that.
Okay.
Before, we can start researching it next year, because
He goes to Blackbrook just once a week too?
I think so, yeah. I think most assessors, it's a
Right.
one day a week kind of thing, but, he used to come here 2 days a week, but one of them was supposed to be field work, and so out and about, but
Can we make requirements of him?
we can ask the county.
So the last time he's actually walked on any property that I don't know when, but I came in 2 times before agreements and I was gonna file agreements and I talked to him and he's like, well, that's, you can if you want, but this and that. So then anyways, I got a hold of the copy of the list of everybody's increases. And he had told me 23% across everybody. Well, that's not the case. Plus, and I didn't tell him, but La Hart's, which is right up near where Miller is building, for 6 years now, their trailer is not there. There's a brand new home there, and that house is still assessed at $189,000. And it's a brand new home, basement, the whole works.
Oh.
And he did not increase them again this year. And I don't know if that's didn't ask Shane, but I don't know if it's not finished. Because I know my neighbors with Butch, they were friends with Butch, and they let their house go for 10 years. They would just pay the new renewal for $100, and so they can't fool with their taxes. And then just before Butch retired, Butch closed it out. And now she's relatively close to me. And I don't know if there's influence, another one I happen to notice, but Kathy Moulton sits on the board, and well, she's left her husband now. But anyways, that house only is assessed at $380,000. Well, I wish my house was $380,000. And that's maybe even bigger than my house, and definitely more lakefront.
That's on Shadow Lake too.
That's one of the first ones on the Narrows Road, or the Sunset Road.
She left her husband?
Yep.
I know that. What is his name? Donnie.
Oh, being recorded.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, let's
Maybe we
move
shouldn't
on.
have done this.
Is that going, is that online? Yeah. Just
I don't-
live,
I don't
though,
even
right? Just live?
Just YouTube.
No, not live, no.
Wasn't me this time.
Court clerk personnel, 5,000.
Oh, wow.
Attorney, 5,000. Bond attorney, I dropped it to 1,000. We shouldn't need the bond attorney anymore. I pretty much believe we've dealt as much as we have to with the bond attorney, but I put 1,000 there in case there's some odd bill that flitters out of there. Election contractual, we just got that today, they call it a chargeback. It's gonna be 14,700. It's what, we will have spent on elections this year. The spring and
Okay.
whatnot. And I have the whole chart of what everybody pays and how much and why and, custodian and buildings and grounds, stayed at 10,000, 12,000. Building contractual, 35,000. Town hall maintenance, I dropped that to 15,000. Supplies, 15,000. Equipment, I put up to 5,000 to accommodate for the extra computers. Mileage, 1,000. Training, I went up to 3,000. Postage, 4,000. And our unallocated insurance dropped a lot.
Why is that?
Well, when we got the new figures from the new insurance company, I asked them to break it out as to what was paying what. And general fund seemed to be paying an awful big share of stuff that wasn't really ours to pay, wasn't general funds to pay. So really what falls under general fund was only 24,000. You'll see where it went up other places.
Okay.
Didn't go away. It just moved.
Association dues, 3,000. I didn't put anything in a contingent account. That's basically a holding place in case we need more money, and our CPA tells us every year, you really shouldn't have a contingent account. That's, if you're gonna need money, put it in your budget. Don't put it in a holding spot, so.
It's like hiding money, really.
Yeah, it's like a slush fund, which
Which they don't like.
we don't need.
Okay.
Dog control, 7,500, life flight, 500, Shazy Lake Dam personal, that's Denise, 3,500. Shazy Lake Dam maintenance, I dropped it to 40. If we don't get the grant, 40 should cover the mandatory, the things that we really need to take care of.
Well, that's like a swag almost. You feel comfortable with the 40, just in case we don't get that grant?
I do, because the main things that we would have to fix, I think, is the spots where you can see the rebar, those places
Okay.
that are down there. I mean, the other money was, it was a lot of bringing in riprap and sealing cracks and that kind of thing.
Okay.
And I think we can do a lot of the crack sealing on our own, because when we had that company come out, Rail and Bridge, that came out a couple years ago and did the sealing. Denise took note of the type of caulking that they used, what it was that they actually used. So we can, we can buy that and do some of those cracks. So here's the 39,000 there. Garage contractual, 12,000.
So wait a minute,
Okay,
I don't know if we should discuss this.
okay, we can discuss it in the executive session.
All right,
We'll revisit that.
I want
Okay.
to go do that.
All right. Garage contractual, 12. Street signs, 500. Heating fuel, looking at our, what we've spent so far, I think that's sufficient. Street lighting has gone up, electricity's gone up.
But, I'm sorry to cut you off, but
That's
this is a contract price that comes from the state. They've not showed us what's gonna be the contract price for 2026 for fuel?
No, we don't do the, we can actually get it cheaper
Locally?
without going through the state contract.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes the state contract works, sometimes it doesn't. Beach sign dropped it to 1,000. That thing, I'd like to bulldoze it right over, but that's another topic. JCEO, we've got their new contract, 13,926. Grant writer, 3,000. Parks contractual, I kept it at 50,000. Shays Lake Beach personal, that's the lifeguard, 17. Shays Lake Beach equipment, 2,000. We really didn't spend it this year, but we need to buy new lines. Those lines have had it. Shays Lake Beach contractual, I've got 3,000 there. The environmental lines. Speaking of the environmental lines, I was going to bring it up in the next meeting, but I'll give it to you for food for thought right now. I think that we should have not so much a committee, but an oversight, because environmental has become such a big issue, have a board member, and I don't want to create a CLEC again, but a board member who oversees, and with a couple other people, and not people necessarily that live on the lake, probably people who are around from different parts of the town, to oversee where those $10,000 should be spent, because we have two different things. Shays Lake always wants to spend it on harvesting milfoil. They pay those college students to destroy things. And Chateauguay Lake might want to put theirs toward the Priscilla Corps costs. So I think if we have somebody that just oversees, okay, yes, you'll get 10,000, but we'll tell you what you're spending that 10,000 on.
So did Shady Lake hire divers this year?
Yes.
2.
So they hired the 2 divers that sat out in front of the.
Not for them.
Oh,
We usually pay an independent corporation, right? We don't.
Yeah, no, well, that 10,000 paid for those. Well, actually, it didn't. Our 10,000 went toward, they put in 25,000, Clewe put in 25,000, and we put in 10,000 to pay for the aquatic, whatever, that came out and did harvesting.
Oh, the harvesting?
Yeah, they had hired a actual company that came out and did harvesting,
Right.
and
So we paid that company.
and we paid them.
Not the
'Cause I-
student divers.
I
No.
really wanna talk about that 10 grand we give them. I really wanna talk about that 10 grand we give them.
Yeah, I think that having somebody overseeing and saying, here's what you're going to spend the 10,000 on, or you're not gonna get it, we'll spend it on, because we can spend that money too. It doesn't have to go to the organizations that are working on the lake. I mean,
if we're so damn serious about exploring for Silvercore, here's a wonderful chunk of money that we can put toward that whole process,
yep,
upfront process.
and we can do that. I mean, it'll be,
They'll piss them
that
off.
would help pay for the biometric survey that's gotta be done prior to,
That's probably the biggest expense that there is. Once that's in place, then your annual dollars go down. But until all those locations, I think Shazy Lake would be less than Chateauguay Lake.
Oh,
just
no
because
doubt.
we're
Just
a
acreage
deep-
alone?
We're a deep lake, so we only have it in our shallow areas that were created by the dam. And so we're limited, so we would not have anywhere near, like, Chateauguay Lake has 1,300 sites. I can't think here, I couldn't even think 500.
Right.
I couldn't think not even half of that.
yeah, because I mean, they did basically 2 lakes and in the connecting waterways, so it's,
And then it depends too, like this year they didn't get to do it because they didn't think Dennicor said the weeds, the milfoil here, because the ice left so early, the milfoil was higher sooner. Where Chateauguay Lake, they said, we can't do it because the milfoil isn't high enough. We want it mature so we can kill it, and that's why they didn't do Chateauguay. But their permit will run over till next year, they don't have to redo anything. It's a 2-year thing, so they're okay. But, I more have a tendency to believe the people doing Chateauguay Lake, not their association themselves, but the company that they hired is pretty on point.
Yes, they are.
yeah.
Well, they're certified.
They're controlling the whole thing, They're,
Okay.
So that's food for thought, and I mean, that's a discussion for a regular board meeting. State retirement stays the same, social security, workman's comp, unemployment, disability, and we don't have serial bond interest. So, that's what I came up with, 73 cents. And that's just, and that's without changes. So obviously, anything on here can be changed, increased, decreased, eliminated. It's up to us, but I wanted to give you all the numbers as I put them in so that you could start, think about how you wanted to change them and whatnot.
So even though the total's less, we're still gonna go up per thousand?
Yeah, and let me,
Which doesn't that give you more money, cause the assessments are now gone up, so you have higher assessments and you have more.
well, I said I'll have to look at my figures again.
I'm glad you said that, because I'm looking at it like saying,
Well, I know, and I looked,
that don't look right.
I thought about it too, but I gotta figure out how we did that.
Well, you took out the
Well, I know school
top line,
continues to go down, but school taxes
90,
continue
40,
to go up crazy.
50,000.
But the per thousand is going down, but the assessments are compensating way more.
So the way that you calculate your per thousand rate is you take, and did I use a wrong number? It's very possible. I'll do this, but at least you get a little bit. So what you have to do is you take the amount that you want, the amount that the taxpayers have to pay, and you divide that by, and general fund is everybody, so you divide that by the total taxable value of the town, including the village. And that total taxable value is $273,977,378. These are figures that I have to get from the county. So you make that division, and that's what it came up to. It came up to 0.7298, whatever. But
I
Well,
think
let me do it
everybody should
again.
come in and start doing some calculating.
so,
So there was that much of a difference between last year's 661 and this year's 572. There was that much of an increase in
From the county,
assessments that,
well, let me
from the
Let
county.
me do this
you're
one,
saying.
57276. No, I can't do that clear. I only want 200,000, 200, and that's probably where I did screwed up, so 200,000 divided by 273,977,378. And this was the last one I did, so this is probably the one I screwed up on, equals, no, 729,
well,
so.
Interesting.
So I don't know, it is possible that the total town's assessment value went down, depending on if, I don't know, houses burnt down, or, stores went away, or, whatever. That changes the total assessed value, but that's how we calculate that. But I'll obviously be redoing all these numbers.
Okay.
Especially as, for the next meeting, any of the changes that, you're seeing on these, that's when we'll do some changes. Okay, Part B. Okay, so the real property taxes, what did I put in there? Oh, I didn't calculate that out right, but that's 13 cents as well, but. Hold on. 36,115 minus 5,100 equals 25,515. So 25,515 divided by, and this is Part B, so that's only the towns without the village, which is 235,698,677 equals. Actually, that's going to be 11 cents. That one.
what's gonna be 11?
The
bottom number.
tax rate
Very
on the
bottom.
Part B. I knew what I did as soon as I started. I took the 30,000 instead of the 25,515.
So Part B is without the village.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's, that's basically Shane, the registrar, our youth, the youth, different things that we give to the village. And these are the things that the audit, or that the state comptrollers told us needed to be in Part B. Because we never had a Part B until about 7 years ago, when they came and did the audit, and they said, oh, all these things, shouldn't be all in general fund, it should be split out because, the village has their own, code enforcement officer kind of thing, so. All right, the next one is highway. So I calculated this out without any, without the stuff he thinks he's gonna get. So I took they have a healthy savings. We have a money market for highway, and they've got, I think right now there's about $280,000 in it. So I took 15,000 out of there. We want 602,400 from taxpayers. I put that 76,150 in there for the county contract. Our meeting is Monday at 5:15 in the county building up on the second floor with the transportation committee on what they're going to give us for that snow and ice contract with the county to do county roads. And I'm basing it on 15% because talking to the other supervisors, if we don't get 15%, we're going to tell them to do their own roads.
And we have alliance for everybody else on that?
Pretty much.
There's solidarity on that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Saranac and Blackbrook are definitely on board. A couple of the other towns don't do county roads. Some of them have already told them to take their roads. So
Okay.
we'll see how that goes. Interest and earnings, 6,000. Miscellaneous revenues. I put 10,000 there for next year only because we surplused those that box. The stuff that the box and sander. And highway aid, he's going to roll over part of the chips, so that's why I've got 180,000 there.
That's because we didn't do any paving.
Right. And there's an interesting story with that. So they lent the Avant to Saranac for 2 weeks because Saranac needed to do a walking path and they didn't have equipment to do it. So they're like, fine, we'll lend you the Avant. You can pay for us. Well, when it came time for them to, we don't have the people. Well, then let us use the paver. We'll get somebody who knows how to operate a paver. We have got somebody lined up who used to work for you and retired and said he would come and pave. Nope, you can't have it. Can't have it. They weren't going to pave. So then Monday, John comes in and says, Mark told Saranac that we would help them pave. And I said, bullshit. We are always at the losing end of our shared services with Saranac. I said they wouldn't come and even let us use their equipment where they use the Avant. They broke the springs on the trailer. They broke the radio. And now they want you to go do that. And sure shit, they're going to turn around and not have time to help us pave. So as far as I was concerned, and I told Tim Napper that too, that, shared services means shared. It doesn't mean Dannemora gets the crappy end of the stick every time we have something that goes with them. So.
Now, Tim, take that.
He was going to talk to his highway superintendent because his highway superintendent told him that everything was all set. Dannemora was going to give him a couple trucks and they were going to, and I said, well, I don't know what, I said, but I have told the highwaymen, I said, I haven't seen the highway superintendent, he's sick, and Mark is sick. And I said, but as far as I'm concerned, and as far as the men are concerned, they're not going to help you. So.
Back up to the box, we all agreed on the surplus thing. I just asked the guys before the meeting and they know nothing about it. Because I asked them, I said, did you guys find anybody, looking for a box in Sanger? Like, what are we talking about? So we made a motion on the surplus and offer it to the towns first, and then we put a limit on it if it goes out to, know nothing about it. And it's interesting.
Yeah, so
I said, we
Yeah,
talked about it, I mean, winter's coming, you'd think that,
My God.
People
So-
are looking as they're, you know.
that's why I asked him, I'm like, are you guys, somebody interested?
Well, yeah,
We know
'cause-
nothing about it.
Mark, well,
I said, well,
No.
that's at the meeting, he,
yeah, okay, well, yeah, and, because they, I mean, they had talked about it before, that if we surplused it, that they, you know, they would think that most likely it'd be somebody like Schuyler Falls that
Yeah.
would snatch it up. So, because they've got, I mean, that old truck they bought from us is the best piece of equipment they own. So, anyway,
can I
okay,
put that box on that truck?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. General repairs personal, that is, that's the men's pay and their benefits.
Contract's up 2026?
The end of 26, yep.
Okay.
General repairs contractual, 40,000, stayed the same. Improvement capital outlay, 20,000, I dropped that because that's kind of being used as a kind of a slush fund, and they needs to get the budget lines where they belong. Improvement chips, I put 180, like I said, I don't have anything from Mark, so I was spitballing some of this with talking with the guys. Machinery equipment, 12,000, I dropped that. Machinery contractual, I raised that up because, for rentals, we rent a bulldozer, and they were talking about getting a big piece of like a tractor with one of the mowers on an arm
Yeah.
and whatnot, which was really expensive. And they said, you know what, we only use it for a few weeks. We'd just rent one for, you know,
For what it costs and what they use it for, it's not worth the investment.
no. So like $8,000 for, you know, a couple weeks, and they can do all the work that they need to do with it. And they just do not have another piece of equipment that they have to maintain. And
So what are we doing with the tractor then?
oh, that one that is
Has the blown head?
we're gonna, well, and the guys want just, they've seen there's a used tractor at Dragoons,
Case, I think it was.
a case that, by all accounts, it's in really good shape. I think it's 40,000,
40 or 42, I
and
think.
they
I
said you could probably talk them, well, or it's 42 or
42,
40 something,
I think,
and they said you could probably
if
talk
I
them
remember.
down 4 or 5,000.
I'm gonna go take a look at it then.
And so that's where I've got 40,000 down in equipment down at the very bottom, just in case that's, so fuel, gas, I need to bump up, diesel can stay the same. Snow removal personal, that's, again, payroll, snow removal contractual. Salt, I left at 35, state retirement, social security, workman's comp, all of those particular things down the line are pretty much the same. Installment purchase debt, that's up to 125,160. That pays for the 3 things that we're buying on leases, but it's like a 5-year lease, and then you pay $1 in the 6th year, and it's yours. That's the truck, the last truck. We pay 66,000 a year for that. The big loader, we pay 30 something, and
The
then
Avant one too.
the Avant is 20. Yeah, the Avant is 22, and then the other loader is 30 something. It all adds up to 125, 160. What we would pay next year for those 3 leases.
Where's the salt in here?
That's right up on the top.
Snow
Where?
removal salt contract,
35.
514241.
5142.
Did he order a 400 ton again?
He hasn't ordered it yet. They haven't come yet. I think, I want to think that the county's probably waiting till we have this meeting Monday night to see whether or not, whether or not we're doing, I asked them,
You can't order 400 ton, we don't need
I
it.
think it's,
I don't think it'll fit in there. So all that, with what I've put in there, it dropped to $2.56.
So here's the other side, opposite what you just asked, Mike.
Yeah.
It went up
right?
89,000 and dropped the value
But it dropped 60 cents.
60
Yeah,
cents.
but look at what we were asking for from taxes. So it was 607 that we asked for taxpayers last year, and it's 602 that we're asking this year.
Okay.
So you can't look at the bottom line, you gotta look
Yeah.
at the real property taxes.
Okay.
Because that's what we're asking the taxpayers for.
Okay.
Lights, I put it up to 12 because, as we all know, electricity went up. And looking at this year's bills, 12 should cover it. So unfortunately, it bumps it to 93 cents. But here was a fun one, but it actually came out pretty well. They do have right now they've got 42,000 left in their account for this year. Of course, some of that is going to payroll, going to everything else, going to equipment, and not equipment, but supplies and whatnot. So I feel comfortable taking 10,000 out of that. The sewer rents are higher, 199, 340, but it actually works out better. No interest and penalties. So total is 209, 340. Unallocated insurance went way up. They were way underinsured, or they weren't underinsured. It's just that general fund was paying for a lot of their insurance.
Okay.
So that's the insurance. Sewer admin contractual changed a little bit. Sewer treatment personal stays the same. Adam has never asked for a pay raise since he's been working for us, and Pat got one 2 years ago. He didn't ask for another. Sewer treatment contractual should go down. So I put it down a little bit. We won't have things that are continually breaking and needing fixing, because those are some of the things that are getting replaced during this upgrade. Retirement, Social Security, workman's comp, unemployment, disability all stay the same. So term bond principal, the 54,457 is the bond that currently exists. It is the one that's been running, and that one doesn't expire till 2034. Serial bond principal, 4299. That's the new bond, and then the interest is 27,264. Next year, those numbers will flip some, because this first year, of course, most of it is interest, as with most loans. So you'll see. So what that figures out to be is 320 for debt service. So 320 multiplied by the